Hey everyone, I'm Remya Warrior, and I am so excited to welcome you to our first Tech Talk ever by the ASID New Jersey chapter. Now, this is our President, Anna Maria Manarino's vision. And Tech Talk, it is about embracing technology to move our business forward. Now, I'm hoping that this series will allow designers and our industry partners to come together to support each other. And the topics that I'm selecting is going to be applicable to both designers as well as industry partners. And for our first ever Tech Talk, we have been able to get an industry giant like Debbie Green. And I've been following her for the past 4 years and have been a huge fan, and I think she knows it already. So I'm just so honored to be introducing Debbie Green today. And for those of you who don't know Debbie, more than 33 years ago, Debbie Green started a design business called Dandelion Interiors. And over the course of working her business, she became passionate about the importance of systemizing her business, doing the same thing, the same way, every time. In 1997, that idea launched Minutes Matter. Minutes Matter offers many different products and services to the interior designers and to the workrooms. One of their products includes Studio, which is a graphic design software program that saves time during consultations and eliminates costly communication errors. Hi, Debbie. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much. Wow, that was a great introduction. Thanks. Industry giant. Wow.
Thank you.
Myself that way, but anyway, it's nice to be here with you guys this morning, and I guess we're ready to start.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's take it away.
Yes. And while you're sharing the computers, please let me just say one more thing to the viewers. If you have any questions, please hold your questions till the end, because Debbie has a wonderful presentation for us, and we just want to make sure that she's given enough time to cover the entire thing. So I will be looking at the chat session, and if there are questions, I will write it down and make sure that we get all those questions answered, but please wait till the end. All right, Debbie, take it away.
Let's get my proper screen shared.
Mm-hmm.
And share the screen. There we go. And my keynote went away. Let me get it back. And
there we go.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. And again, we are going to be talking about Minutes Matter Studio. And I'm your presenter, Debbie Green. As Remya said, Studio is a graphic design software. It's a communication tool between you and your workroom and your installer and your client. A picture's worth 1,000 words. With Studio, you can create space plans and elevation renderings. Our software includes over 9,300 images when you purchase the full package. You can add fabrics to our images, design on a client photo. So you can go into a client's home, snap a photo with your camera, with your phone, and you can design right on that. You can use another thing that designers love is the eyedropper tool. You can touch any color you want from any website and fill an image in Studio with that. One rendering can be 3 solutions. It can be for your workroom, for your installer, and for the client. So once you create the rendering, the main rendering, whether it's a space plan or whether it is a elevation, it can be 3 solutions. So that's a great thing. You can brand every single image. It's kind of like having your letterhead, and you put your rendering right on it. So you can create your own template and drag that over every time when you do a rendering. You can create electronic storyboards. We have a great kitchen module. You can import, we have a feature inside Studio where you can import furniture, accessories, artwork, anything you want from the web from any vendor's website. You just right click on it, save image as, and bring it right into Studio. One thing's for certain, technology always wows the clients. This is an example of our work order spec sheet. So you would create, if you created a rendering, and we just left it with this window treatment, but you add all these specs and notes to it, and it goes to your workroom, and like I said, picture's worth 1,000 words. Here's some of our modules: living room module, wall module, storyboard module, kitchen module, space planning, and then Jackie Von Tobel, her extra window treatments, and the bedding module is also by Jackie Von Tobel's images. This is an example of a design that's on a photograph. And it was a photograph of a client's breakfast room, the kitchen looking into the breakfast room. Notice how we drug some of Studio's images on the window back behind it, but notice the window treatments behind the chair. We have a feature in Studio that allows you to move that forward and put the draperies behind there. So you can do that with lots of different items. This is an example of our kitchen module, bedding module, one example of the storyboard module, and another one. Example of our space planning. And this is just, I was telling Remya at the beginning when we were talking that I always hate if people are talking about something and I'm going, yeah. Now, how much is it? How much is it? So I just show this really quick, just so you know how much it is. And like if you bought the full package, you wanted to own it, it's $18.45. And for just the basic package is $4.97, or you can do the online version, which is a monthly subscription, and you can have it on a PC, Mac, iPad. The other versions are PC based. And this is a few ways you can get in touch with me. Our website, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Now we're going to go to, I'm going to pause it. Well, I'll just move this down. And we're going to go right to Studio. And I'm in Studio right now. And what you will see is I brought up a space plan. And for time constraints, I didn't want to take the time to show you from scratch how to do a space plan, how to do an elevation, and how to design on a photograph. So I wanted to make sure that we covered just the basics, and if you would like to download, you can do that. And we're going to talk about that at the very end. So I'm going to stretch this to full screen to make sure you can see the biggest part. Now, what I would say, the footprint in a space plan is the most important thing, or is let's say the most time consuming, is creating your footprint. So for the footprint, we have several sections, and if you're using Windows, this looks very similar to Microsoft Office. Has a ribbon up here, and then we have the quick access toolbar down here. But we would go to the drawing section right here, and we would grab a rectangle. And again, for time's sake, I'm not going to try to get the size correct. I'm not going to worry about the dimensions. If I wanted to, though, I could come up here and change the width and the length. The height is the length, especially in space planning. If you wanted it in feet, you could change, just so you could do the footprint, you could change it to feet by right-clicking on the ruler bar. So we're not going to worry about the length right now, or the correct size. So we'll go into the line width first, and we'll change that to 8 pixels, and then we'll go to line color, because we don't want it to be so harsh, so we will change it to this gray. Now notice the neutral color palette. All of the space planning images are in a neutral color palette. So if you come to access the space planning images, you click on the space planning tab that's to the left. And you'll see number 1 is the footprint layout, and number 2 is the furniture and accessories. And you'll see subcategories under each of these. And when you want to get to a certain thing, you click. Like if you want to go to architectural elements category, you click. Notice how it popped behind it. Let me do that again. When you click, it automatically flickers behind it, and you move your mouse to the workspace, and then you are in the architectural elements category. So let's fill, well, let's don't fill it. Let's duplicate this to add another section for the bath. No, well, I didn't want to do, I meant duplicate. So you can see to duplicate, you right click, or you can press Control D. So we'll do that. We'll drag it down. I'm going to offset it just a little bit, and then I'm going to hold my Shift key down and select both of them. And then I'm going to, just to show you that we have so many different align tools, I'll click Align Left. You could have clicked Align Right as well. Now I know that the bedroom is a little bit bigger than the bath, so I'm going to slide that down. Now you're thinking, I can't see that, but the reason is because this is the bottom layer, this is on the top layer, so we want to bring that to the front. Now you can see it. So with any graphic program, there's layers. It's just, think of it as a desk with papers on top of it. And the first paper you put down is the bottom layer. Now let's go into, we'll right click, Properties, Fill. We'll go to the Texture tab, and the bottom 5 textures are for space planning. They're the neutral color palette. So we'll click on the wood floor for the top one, and we'll click on the bottom, right click, Fill again, and then we'll go to the Texture tab again, and we'll choose the stone. We'll say okay. Now I'm just going to show you the one thing that we'll drag over, just to kind of give you an idea of how this works. So you would start, once you get the floor plan or the footprint drawn, you would start dragging over images from those subcategories that we just showed you. And I'm going to get a door, and I'm not really trying to get the size just right. Whoops, I dropped it. So let me go drag it right over here. And I'll click away, and then you can see that's how we start dragging them over. You can see I only have a little bit. Now, if you were getting this to scale, you would start using your dimension line to see how far that is. And right now, that is 16, and if we wanted it to be 16, we could click on the image, on the dimension line, and you would change that to whatever you wanted it to be. And then you would move these openings, you would manually move this, the opening and the door to wherever you needed it to be. We have this cool feature called Zoom Within Rectangle, and it's going to magnify it. All it does is magnify it. So you can see exactly, you know, that I needed to move the little opening too. I needed to move that up. Well, let me click away. Still going to get that because it's on the top, but let me zoom back out to fit page. You can't see when it's far away, but when you zoom in, you can see where you need to make some adjustments. And so the rest of it, you can see we have beds, we have rugs, chairs, flat screen, we have TVs, we have window treatments, we have the windows. So all of those things, like in architectural elements, if I scroll down, you can see doors, the fireplaces, stairwells, the walls, interior walls, windows, just all these different things that you can use. And you can use our rotate tools to rotate left, rotate right. If you have it highlighted, then the tools are not grayed out. But if nothing's highlighted, if I click away, you can see all of these are grayed out. So we're going to now move to the next one and go to the view tab, and I'm going to switch windows and go to the elevation. Oh, with a space plan too, if you have a floor plan from an architect or from your building contractor, you can import it. If it's a JPEG, you can't import a PDF, but you can import and you can convert PDFs to JPEGs. So when you can import that floor plan and trace around it with our polygon tool. We have in the drawing tools, there's a polygon tool. So those are for irregular shapes. And again, we have a tutorial showing you how to use that. This is the elevation. This is my bedroom when I redid that a year and a half ago. And let me just show you how we get started with that. So we go to elevations. We go to, I have a 10-foot ceiling. And so we'll go down to the wall templates, and this says a legal size. Because you can change your paper, and this applies to space planning as well as elevations, where you can use letter size paper or you can use legal size paper, and your scale remains the same. You can change the scale to anything you want. Like in space planning, you normally use 1/4 inch, but sometimes if you have a big space you're working on, you might want to change the scale to 1/8 inch scale. That's possible as well. So now that we have this over, what we would want to do, I was just going to show you how the eyedropper works. That's the main thing I wanted to show you on this template. So I happen to have, I'm working in my studio online. This is the monthly subscription. They're both exactly the same, but this one you just log into a server and it doesn't use your memory or your hard drive space. It uses our hard drive space on our giant server as well as our memory. So that's a benefit. So I'm going to open up the Benjamin Moore paint deck. And I'm going to right click down here. People love this part. Hope you're watching. Show windows side by side. So what it does is it allows 2 screens, because my eyedropper, if you're going to use the eyedropper tool, you have to have both screens showing at the same time. Like if I were to bring up Benjamin Moore and then I didn't resize my screen, when I click back on Studio, Benjamin Moore paint deck would go behind it. So that's why we want to do that. Now you can see that let me click away. I'm going to click one more time. Notice that the green edit points are around the entire wall template, but I'm going to click again and notice how the edit points changed. Now I'm going to click, it just has the wall. So, oops, I meant to get my paint here. If you know the name of your paint color, you can do that. And whether it's Sherwin-Williams or whether it's Benjamin Moore, Porter Paints, whatever it is, you can bring up that vendor's website, find your paint, and use the eyedropper to do what I'm showing you right now. Drag it all the way over. So you take the eyedropper, drag it off, touch it. Here's your new color. We'll say okay, and voila, there you have it. Now let's go back to elevations. And I'm going to maximize, because I'm through with the Benjamin Moore paint deck. So I want, whoops, I hit the wrong thing. I meant to hit this one, not that one. Let it get bigger again, because I hit the one that just pertained to that one window, to that particular file, and I wanted to maximize the entire studio program, not just that one file. If you're a rash clicker like me, sometimes you get yourself in trouble. So let's go now down to the Rooms tab. We'll go to the Bedding module, and we're going to go to Upholstered Headboards. And we'll scroll all the way to the bottom because it's tufted headboard that I'm looking for. And I just wanted to show you how different this looks. That this headboard looks nothing like, well, it does look a lot like it, but I needed it a lot taller. My headboard was close to 78 inches tall. So all you do is you customize those images. I took off the feet because they were building a frame for me. I shortened this frame just a little bit, the box spring. Well, it's not really a box spring, it's the frame around the bed that's upholstered. And then I created a rectangle and used nail heads to show my upholsterer what I wanted him to make for me. So let's delete this now. But most of the images, they can be broken apart. You can delete part of them, or you can stretch them just like I did with that one. Let's show you how easy it is to get fabric. I already have fabric in this, but we'll go through it again. We'll right click. You have to highlight whatever you want Studio to work on. You go to Fill, you go to Custom. At this point, these are all pre-filled, but this one is custom. So you can see here's an image here. These are normally blank. Let's just pretend we don't see anything. We'll go to Load, and then we'll go to, you normally would have your fabric stored inside a client file. You would go get them from your client. Go get them from the internet, put them in a client file, and then you would have them. And here's the fabric that I downloaded from. It's Clifton Linen and Fabric Cut, and it has no repeat because it's a linen. And then you would come in here, but I'm going to delete that one. We don't need it really, but that is how I acquired that fabric. And if you want another fabric, you add it, and another one, you just keep going to a blank square and adding multiple fabrics. We'll say, okay. Oh, well, and I'm going to press Control Z to undo what I just did. So yes, that's how easy it is to change fabrics too. Now, see the nightstands next to the bed? Those were from the living room module, but they had legs. I didn't want legs because we were installing these on the wall as a hanging nightstand. I decided I love that. I love having no legs that you can just vacuum under, and it's so easy. I love it. It's a clean look. And then another cool thing is, notice these wall sconces. Those are not a studio image. Those are from High Point. I picked these up from the vendor Blue Ocean, I believe. And let me just show you what the image looked like. So there wasn't an image because Blue Ocean has one of the, they don't have, I don't even know if they have all of them on the website, whatever they're going to have, what all they have. So anyway, I found an image close to it. I can't remember where I got it, but this is what the image looked like before I did a little bit of customizing to it. So I right-clicked. Now watch, this happens so fast, but watch, the white background's going to disappear. Properties, Fill, and voila, look at that. So I could move the scroll bar just ever so slightly to remove a little bit more, but not much, because pretty soon the beads would disappear. And then of course, highlight it, hold the Shift key down, and by holding the Shift key down, it keeps it from stretching it, or keeps the aspect ratio intact. Now you're thinking, okay, that looks fine, but look at those giant candles on there. They're still there. So let me just drag this over to show you what it really is. Notice, see this little blob here? It is a polygon shape that I use this. That polygon tool is a master at masking. It draws your footprint of an irregular shape for a floor plan, but it also does masking. All I did was draw a little, just a quick little shape as close as I could, and I used my zoom within rectangle so I could magnify it and see what I was doing easily. Used my eyedropper tool to make it the wall color, and I was able to take off the candle on this side, and I took it off from here as well, and I put the beads, I duplicated the beads and put the beads on top of that. So that is how I'm going to press Control Z, 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 move it over, and then delete this image. And now we're back to where we started. And when for importing an image, you do everything, whether it's a photograph for your client, whether it's a vendor accessory, artwork, or furniture, everything you want to import, you import from there. And that's how you would import your logo as well to get started making a logo template, a logo template to save in the custom tab. And that's the custom tab down here. Now, the last thing we're going to show is we're going to open up, we're going to switch windows to a photograph. Kind of give you an overview on a photograph. This is a photograph that we brought in from a client that was taken from a client's room or space. And this is a wonderful photograph. Some photographs are not so wonderful because they have a lot of clutter in them. This one happened to be wonderful because it was a blank room. So it was like a palette, just a clean palette, which who doesn't like that? And we brought in some artwork, we brought in draperies and top-down, bottom-up shades, added fabric, but we also wanted to show the client, okay, if we mount the window treatment here, that's what it looks like, or do you like it here where it makes the room look bigger? So, and then you could also show them that you could put an end cap here to show them you don't have to have a finial on both sides. And notice how for the workroom we started putting break on the floor. So it's pretty easy. We use the dimension line, or the dimension tool is invaluable. I use that all the time. This quick access toolbar has most of the tools designers use on a regular basis. So that is the toolbar. They're up here as well, but they're down here as well too. So let me just make sure I've covered everything. I think I am through with my high-level overview of Studio. So, Remya, do you have any, or guys, you can type in your questions, and I'll be glad to cover any questions you have. I'll keep Studio open if you need me to demonstrate anything.
All right, I just unmuted myself. All right, keep the questions coming, ladies and gentlemen. So one of the questions I had, Debbie, is about how to search for something.
Okay, let me show you that. So let's just say that we were looking for, click on elevations, let's go to draperies, and let's just say we're looking for invert, like our box. Let me do swags and balances, and we'll go a right click. This is how you get to the search. You go on a main category of anything, whether it's space planning, rooms, or whatever, and click on search, because since we have 9,300 images, there are a lot of images to go through. Mm-hmm. So you could click box, or not click, how about type box. And now when you type box, over to the far right, there is, can you see that, Remya? Can you see that? My little tab?
No, I don't.
Box. I'm wondering if some of your...
Do you want me to move this out? Oh, there we go. Yes. Now
see, I'm afraid some of the viewers or attendees can't see that. So the box is, I'm right, here's my mouse, and it's right over here. So if that control panel for Zoom today is obstructing that, you can move it. You can move it.
Did. I actually did, but I don't know if everybody can see that I moved it, or
they can't see that, I don't think.
Oh, I think that's because we were watching your
right.
But I think you might have to move it.
Oh, I don't have one.
Oh, you don't have the box.
I don't have that because I'm in full view. Mine's not obstructing anything. So anyway, but there is a small tab that appears, and then the box of all the search results appear. So all you do is right click on a main category, type in your search term, and it shows. Now, another thing while we're talking about that is you can go into our searchable online manual, and it's always a part of Studio. So you could go into search and say that you wanted to look at, like we talked about photo a lot, and a lot of people love that. Everybody loves to design on a photo. Here's the photo clip tool. Notice how we talked about how that drapery was behind the chair in that main keynote presentation. This is step-by-step how to do that. This is what it looks like before you use the photo clip tool. Look how cool it looks after the photo clip. And then here's the photo knockout. And I showed you that, how it removes the background, the white background. And then cropping fabrics. You know, we talk about cropping fabrics. If you don't crop a fabric, sometimes because the vendor's fabrics, they leave a white space in there. Well, that's going to show when you tile it or when you repeat, you know, when it has to repeat. So anyway, that is our searchable manual. So that
awesome.
Question mark, you can get to almost any topic and any help that you need.
Wonderful. So yeah, I'm glad that you showed the photo clip tool because there was one question that came in from Anne-Marie, and she did ask about how do you remove items from a client's photo.
Right. Well, you don't remove it. You just, it kind of duplicates it, so it lets it, so it's not removed. Now, say that I could remove this plug, but I'm not really removing it. Let me show you a trick. Remember we talked about the polygon tool. So say that I didn't want that outlet. Now, most of the time you can't get rid of outlets because the client needs them, but all right, see now I used the polygon tool. I traced, I just kind of went around it. I'm going to use, while it's highlighted, remember it has to be highlighted. I'm going to use the eyedropper tool. I'm going to touch the wall color right next to it, change the wall color. Now you're still, if I click away, look what you'll see. You'll see that little pitiful primitive drawing for my polygon tool, but we want to remove the line width. So we'll go to line width, none, and then click away. And now look, it looks like it was never there, but it really is there. We masked it out of the rendering. And so what we do with the photo clip is you don't really remove it. You just duplicate, you trace around the objectionable, like a chair, whatever it is, or that chest. You trace around it and it kind of duplicates it, but it lets you put that duplicate back on top of the drapery.
Okay. Yes, that's wonderful. So we have one more question from Terry. She says, for floor plans, I currently use AutoCAD for AutoCAD. Can I replace the CAD with Minutes Matter?
Yeah, Studio is a type of computer-aided design, which is CAD. So Studio is CAD, and it can be all to scale. Now, our Studio is not for architectural drawings. If you need to start a house plan, and you're drawing everything, then that's not what you want to use Studio for. But if you want to do for your client, any of your client rent, yes, totally. The floor plans, all that, can definitely use Studio. It's easier, much easier than AutoCAD.
Right. Now, and you had also shown a storyboard. And that also becomes pretty cool to show the clients.
Exactly. Because it is, let me go back to view and switch windows, and we'll go back to the, yes, because once you get your main rendering drawn, then you can go to the storyboard and add all those things, the paint colors, any hardware, accessories, and fabrics that you're doing, and of course, brand it with your logo down here. And once you find a template in the storyboard module, and that's in the marketing tab, once you find, we have a lot of templates, and once you find a template and they don't have, of course, they're not going to have your logo there, but you would drag it over, customize it, take the time to customize that storyboard template, then drag it to your, or save it to your custom tab so that you would always have it. Like if I go to my custom tab for templates with logo, I have storyboard. I'm just dragging that on top, but you can see it's already pre-branded. So some will have the different, you know, you just, depending on the type of template you drag over. Now this is the regular logo template. Now that's for legal, and it says legal over there, and I don't have a legal paper up, but I could go to page setup and change that to legal. Legal is so valuable, and I've had some designers say, well, how do I get, you know, I don't have legal paper. I said, or my printer doesn't print, but most every single printer will print legal paper.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to go buy it. And I know I'm on top of that other one, but you would reduce the size of your rendering and use your logo template. You'd squish that down a little bit. But that way, you know, all your templates that you've made are right over here. Your copyright, all of that is right. So I can make sure that I put that wherever I want it. But once it's done, it's done. And that's why our program differs so much from so many other things. It is a full graphic design. It's a little bit of AutoCAD. It's a little bit of PowerPoint. It's a little bit of Word. It's a little bit of a lot of programs.
Right. And I have to mention this, the art that we created for my social media and everything else for the Tech Talk, that was done through Minutes Matter.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up about copyright. I just had a question from one of our new prospect.
Uh-huh.
Now, all the renderings that I create, anything that I do, how does that work for me using that? And I said, those are, once you purchase Studio or you are using Studio, anything you create, like this storyboard, this is copyrightable by the user. So it's yours. It's not Minutes Matter. You have full rights to it. You just can't sell our software, but you have full rights to everything you create. They're yours.
Right. All right. I think I haven't gotten any new questions yet. So if anybody has any more questions, oh, we do have some more. So Joyce Thomas has asked, what other training tools, video, webinar? Oh, that's a great question. So Debbie, let's talk about the 30-day free trial that they have.
Okay. There is, all right. We have, if you have a PC computer, you have access to our free 30-day trial. You can download it. You can do anything you want. And you have access to 2 of our modules. Though that is the space planning and the living room module are available to you during that 30 days. Once 30 days are over, then it will lock you out. You will not be able, it won't delete your renderings, but then you can decide if you want to purchase. And we have another trial. It is not free because we have to set you up on our server. It's $24.99, and you get access to all 10 modules. So most people end up trying the 30-day trial if they have a Mac, or some of them for PC. But if you have a Mac, it's a great, and $24, we think, well, that's not that much by the time and you get access for a whole month. So, and then as far as support, we do, when you're a new person, you get a free one-on-one hour. You just get an hour. If you want to go over that, you would pay for that, but you get a free hour of one-on-one, kind of like this, where I would have you share your screen with me, and we would go through whatever questions you have. We also have a customer membership account where you would log in and you can watch. We have tons of training videos. And so if you have a second device like an iPad or a second computer, you could log in to your membership account, watch the training video, pause it, practice on your main computer. So it's like having dual monitors. It's a great way to learn. Then we have a lounge, which is our forum where you can ask questions. And if you need help with a design, you can't figure out, well, where is this? How do you do, like Remya asked how to use the search. We'd come on and tell you that. And sometimes when people are asking questions over the phone, they can't remember everything I've said. But if you post it on the forum, you can always go back and historically look at your question and then our response. And a lot of times we do a screenshot with arrows showing you exactly what you do, or where you went wrong on what your went awry on your rendering. So we try to help any way we can to help you get your renderings done fast, because we believe get in, get out, and get paid. That's what we want Studio to help you do.
That's true. And it's all about trying to minimize your mistakes, right?
That is so right, because communication, and then if they can convert faster, if a client can convert faster and not wonder what it's going to look like. I tell designers at High Point, the space plan or a floor plan, that is basically for you, for the designer. It helps you to visualize, yes, that'll work. You've had so much experience with that. You know that will work. Mm-hmm. The client looks at that and goes, that's not, I like it. It looks really good. But the elevation comes to life for them. Mm-hmm. That is what they understand. Designers are used to looking at floor plans where the client, the elevation is more helpful.
Absolutely. So there are a couple more questions, Debbie. One is the training tools, which I know you have a lot of videos. You have a lot of webinars online already on your website as well as on YouTube. So it's very easy for somebody to learn it. Mm-hmm. The best time for us to get something or to try out something new is when we are, during this season, I believe every designer is not as busy as we usually are during the entire year. So this is probably a good time for us to try. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you over in this month rather than in the next year.
Okay.
So another question that Joyce asked is, do images not have to be 3D, say for furniture?
Say that again.
Do images not have to be 3D, say for furniture? I believe she's trying to ask if we're trying to get furniture from a different vendor, or I'm not sure what the
I think I know what she's asking.
Okay.
The images are, our program is 2D, not 3D. AutoCAD and some of the others, they are 3D. Mm-hmm. That makes them sometimes a little harder to use and harder to customize. Ours is 2D. You cannot turn ours around 360. You can't do that. You can flip an image to the right or the left, just flip it over, but you cannot see the side of it. If you, like that bed that we're looking at right now, mm-hmm. I can't turn it and see the side. So that is a 3D image. So no, the images do not have to be 3D. In fact, it wouldn't be helpful if they were. You could try to bring it in if it was a JPEG, but it wouldn't be, you couldn't do anything with it inside Studio. So all the images on your vendor websites are 2D. They're JPEGs.
Right. And another question is this just for interiors? No exterior, say for landscaping, deck, etc.?
We are going to be adding, it is right now just for interiors. Or some people go ahead and use it for exteriors. Like we did a webinar a year ago, and one of the designers just showed how she took a picture of the outside of the house and how she wanted a double sliding door instead of this one single door on the backside. Showed a little bit about the deck that she wanted to do. It was and the contractor loved it, the client loved it, and it was not, she didn't take very much time to do it at all, but it gave they understood the idea because she took a picture of the back of the house to show what she visualized and how it would open up that room inside too and show more light inside the house. So you can do that, but no, we don't have shrubbery and all that. But you could use it if you have a photograph. You could go get some images of shrubbery and bring them in until we get a module for exteriors.
Right. Also, are you located in High Point?
No, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. We're not at High Point anymore. But we just stopped going there. I'd been there 19 markets, so we had just stopped. But no, we're not located in High Point. We're in Nashville, Tennessee. But because it's computer, I can be anywhere, anytime, just like this.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the magic of technology.
That's right.
All right. I think we have taken all the questions. I believe we could wrap it up because I don't see any more questions.
I think we covered quite a bit.
Quite a bit, yes.
I think we did. I think we answered questions. And the trial, if you want to do the trial, it's right on the website on minutesmatter.com. It's in the upper right corner.
Yes. All right. So, Debbie, thank you so much for taking the time.
And thank you for having me today. I appreciate it.
Well, you're very welcome. So I'm going to take the screen back.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. Now I think I am back. So have to talk about the next one, which is coming up, which is going to be, the next Tech Talk is going to be on Jan 18th. And we're going to have our own Nicole Haymayer, who is part of our ASID industry partner. And she is going to discuss the tips for creating content that is going to work as a sales tool. So this is something which is going to be great for both IPs as well as designers. And on February 15th at 10 a.m., we have guest. Our guest is going to be Karen Yankovic. She is a LinkedIn specialist, and she's going to be discussing LinkedIn strategies with us. Again, a great topic for both IPs as well as designers. Thank you all so much for your time. I hope you guys had a great time, and we will see you for the next show. Thank you so much again. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.